This is Dr. Emil Tompkins, and today we're going to talk about 4 foods that feed ADHD. And before we get into that, I want to tell you a story about the blind kids and the elephant. There were a group of kids, a group of students that went to the zoo, and while they were at the zoo, they had a chance to see the elephant exhibit. But while they were in the exhibit, they had a chance to get really close and actually touch the elephant. These kids were blind. They couldn't actually see the elephant, but they were asked to touch the elephant and tell the teacher, what does this elephant look like? And some of the kids would look at the elephant and they would say, it's big and it's big and wide like a blanket, and other people would touch it and say, well, it's long and thin with hair in the back, like a, I don't know, like a paintbrush. And someone else would touch the leg and the foot and say it's really large, like a tree trunk. Are any of these kids lying? They have a different story. They're absolutely telling the truth, and the reason why is because the part of the elephant that they're touching makes up that elephant. So each of the kids are right. When we start talking about natural ways to help children and help adults with attention deficit disorder and ADHD, when we start to have, when we take that approach, the multi-systems approach, we will start to see some really fantastic changes that we'll be outlining in our big workshop coming up called Focus. But today what we're going to talk about really quickly is just 4 foods that feed ADHD, because the last thing we want to do is take in things that are going to give us more problems. And the first one is sugar, and we're going to talk about sugar because there's lots of studies on sugar and inflammation, on sugar and hyperactivity. If you have children, you know what happens when you give them too much sugar. You can see the hyperactivity. Is sugar the cause of ADHD? Likely not at all, the cause for ADHD. However, it is certainly something that's going to create more hyperactivity, and so it's something we want to eliminate. Plus some of the effects that sugar has on insulin balance. When your blood sugar goes up and down, it will affect your brain, it'll affect cognitive ability, it'll affect memory, it can cause that whole brain fog effect. So we absolutely want to think about reducing, eliminating sugar. One of the other things we'll talk about are, food number 2 is going to be allergens. If we're allergic or sensitive to certain foods, that food can create heightened neural responses, heightened immune responses that will affect it'll affect our energy levels. It can cause hyperactivity. It can cause an inability to pay attention because of certain sensory issues that can be affected. And so we want to make sure that we avoid any food that we're allergic to. One thing that we can do is get allergy tests, and that at least gives us an idea if we have a significant allergy. But a lot of us can have sensitivities to certain foods that will never show up in an allergy test, and it can still be a problem. So we want to make sure that we're not sensitive to certain foods. Now, it takes a pretty complex elimination diet to be able to do this right and understand if the food is bothering you. But it's something that you may want to consider. It's something that people in our nutritional programs in our office can have, and it's something that we can guide you through at some point. But some of these foods that our body can be allergic to are wheat, dairy, peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, soy, fish, shellfish. These are things that we want to eliminate because of the allergies. Food dyes, yellow 5, yellow 6, red 40, blue, I can't think of the number now. Each of those foods have been studied, scientifically studied, to cause hyperactivity. The yellow dyes, number 5 and number 6, create DNA damage if you have enough of it. DNA damage, chromosomal damage happens, hyperactivity can happen, cancer. Cancer is more likely to happen in people that are having lots of that yellow number 5. Basically anything that is processed that has color, usually that color has been added to it. Any shade of yellow, brown, orange can have some of that yellow number 5 or number 6 in it. Big problem. Avoid things with food dyes and a lot of preservatives. Wheat. Another one. And wheat I mentioned before as far as the allergy section. Wheat can have a tremendous negative impact on our health for a number of reasons. One, wheat is what's considered an exorphin. And an exorphin is something that, you've probably heard of the term endorphin. Endorphin is something that when your body produces it, and you feel good. So let's say if you go on a really long run, your body produces endorphins, and that feels really good. Something from inside the body that makes you feel good. Wheat actually, unfortunately, is an exorphin, which means it's something that comes from outside of the body that actually helps you feel good. Unfortunately, you eat wheat, it helps you feel good, but it's not doing anything positive for your health. It only becomes addictive. Wheat is addictive, and it will affect you negatively. Wheat causes great changes in your blood sugar. That change in the blood sugar will affect your energy levels. Wheat is neurotoxic. It affects your brain and your nervous system. It is something that you want to avoid as much as you possibly can. Wheat is a big one that we usually want to get off of. So there you have it. 4 foods. We have sugar. We have allergens, which included a number of things, dyes and preservatives, and wheat. Now, if you avoid those foods, if you manage to be able to avoid simply those foods right there, you will have an impact on your attention, on your focus, on your child's behavior. You'll have an impact on all those things. But remember, just like the elephant wasn't just the trunk or the legs or the tail or the big body, the elephant is the whole picture. When it comes to your health, it's the whole picture. And our workshop focus is going to be talking about the entire steps that you would want to take to help with your attention, to help with your child's behavior. You'll learn all the things we've mentioned, plus medications and their effects, certain sensory strategies, sensory processing, changes and things that we can make, exercise protocols for kids and adults with attention deficit disorder. We'll talk about how balancing the brain hemispheres can make a difference in your child's attention and behavior. This is something that can have a major, major impact on your life, a major impact on your child's life, and I look forward to seeing you here. We'll be here in our office. It is Wednesday, August the 19th at 6:30 p.m. I can't wait to see you there. It is Focus, Natural Strategies for Attention Deficit Disorder. I can't wait to see you. If you're not in Southern Arizona, if you're not able to be a part of this workshop, if you click the link below, there will be a webinar that will show up in the future. Exactly when that webinar comes up, it's really unsure, but if you click that link, then you'll at least be registered to be able to get an update as to when that happens. If you want to have a consultation with me at any time about how to help your child or you with attention deficit disorder, you can contact our office at 520-572-2596. I'm Dr. Emil Tompkins, and I wish you a great and healthy day.